Is this the best way to sequence the Volca Drum? Let's find out.
Freebeat.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Freebeat, where I post new music-related content every single day, so if that sounds good to you, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Today's patron shoutout goes to Garen Mortensen Jr. Thank you so very much for the support. Let's get started. So, in yesterday's video, I expressed frustration with the model cycles and the Volca keys, in that I could not figure out how to get the model cycles to control the Volca keys over MIDI. And a lot of folks suggested reading the manual. Some were kinder about it than others, but I actually had read the manual, and I completely missed the one little thing that you have to do, which is the whole reason that I made that video and published it, to show that sometimes you do just miss the solution to the problem. And no one is perfect, and even the people you watch on YouTube do have those issues off camera from time to time. So, yeah, that's why I did that. But anyway, I believe it was Kevin Patz came into the comments and saved me, showed me what I was doing wrong. It's kind of silly, but we are going to use that trick today to sequence the Korg Volca Drum. And if everything goes right, I want to actually have all 6 of the Volca Drum's parts correspond with the 6 available tracks on the model cycles. So let's go ahead and I'll show you what we have to do to actually enable MIDI. So beyond what we did in the MIDI menu, you actually have to access a separate track menu. So select the track that you want to work on, hold function, press the track button down, and now you'll get track setup on the screen. The second option here is called M out. That stands for MIDI out. It's a little box. We need to make sure that that box is checkmarked. And now we can hear that we are indeed triggering the Volca Drum. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for all 6 of my channels. And as you can see by watching the lights here on the parts, we have all 6 of our model cycles tracks corresponding with the 6 tracks on the Volca Drum. Really quick, I'm going to pull the camera out just a hair here, and we're going to talk about how I have everything wired. This right here is the power for the model cycles. That is just going out to the wall. This is power to the Volca Drum, which is also just going to the wall. This is a 3.5mm MIDI adapter that goes to 5-pin, that is going from the MIDI out of the Electron model cycles into the MIDI in over here, 5-pin of the Volca Drum. And this right here is just the audio out from the Volca Drum to my recorder, to my audio interface. That's it. There is no audio coming out of the model cycles. So now I believe I can just sequence the Volca Drum, all 6 different parts, and just use the Electron Sequencer to play those awesome sounds. So let's go ahead and try this. Let's go ahead and lay 4 on the floor here. I'm going to turn it down a little. There we go. Yeah, just like that, we can sequence so easily. We can even probably live record. Yeah. Let's try that. Nice. Now we can actually kind of hear, there's several sounds that are canceling each other out. And that's actually happening because of the choke function here on the Volca Drum. So if we hold function and go to choke, we can see that sounds 1, 3, 5, and 6 will all choke each other out. So let's go ahead and turn those off now. Now it does sound a bit different, doesn't it? Let's go ahead and take this sound here, which is sound 3, and I'm actually going to play around with it a bit here on the Volca Drum itself. There we go. That's pretty cool. Let's put that on beat 2 and beat 4. Yeah. Now we can actually adjust all of these sounds in real time, switching between them on the Volca Drum, and just let our sequence play. And of course, we are on the Electron Sequencer, so we have a full 64 steps per pattern here with full resolution. So let's go ahead and program a 64-step pattern. So we're in write mode here. We can actually page through our different patterns. I'm going to load in a different kit since I kind of messed that one up. Let's go to kit 9. Let's listen to what we have now. Cool. So we're on page 2. And again, we are on the Electron Sequencer, so we can use the chance/conditional trigger function to actually give each of these sounds here some probability, which you can do on the Volca Drum itself. Let's do this one here. Let's set it to about 70%. Sure. However, what we cannot do on the Volca Drum, but we can on the cycles, is to use the conditional trigger function. So for that, I'm actually going to go to a new pattern here. We're going to go to pattern 2 with nothing on it. And we're just going to make sure, yep, it's only 16 steps long. Let's get our kick drum here. Actually, first, we need to go back in and enable MIDI out on our tracks, which is kind of annoying that you have to keep doing that. Not going to lie, kind of frustrating, but maybe there's a way around it. I'm not sure. Let's get our kick drum here, and let's go 4 on the floor. We'll just use this very simply to demonstrate how the conditional triggers work. So let's take this last one right here and make that a conditional trigger. So let's go in and hold it down, and now use the chance/condition knob to set it to NEI, just like that. What that means is neighboring trigger. So step 15 is only going to trigger if the neighboring trigger triggers. Now, the neighboring trigger in this case is the trigger behind it, which is step 13. So let's go ahead and set step 13 to have a, I don't know, let's say a 50% chance to trigger. So what that means is step 13 has a 50% chance to trigger, and step 15 will only trigger when step 13 triggers. So let's hear it. Hear that? They're essentially tied together. There we go. So if step 13 triggers, step 15 will also trigger. If step 13 does not, then step 15 will not either. Now we can make that opposite actually if we set it to NEI with the line above it. That means it will not trigger if step 13 triggers, the neighboring trigger, but it will trigger if step 13 does not. How cool is that? So you can see, I mean, with the Electron Sequencer, there's so much depth. Not to mention, I say this every time I bust this device out, but each pattern gives you 64 steps of full resolution sequencing, and you can sequence up to 96 different patterns per project and 96 projects on the device. Just a wild amount of variance there that you can get. But real quick, let's go back to our first pattern here. We're going to jam on it, and I'm actually going to play with the different sounds here on the Volca Drum. So, yeah, I think this might be the best way to sequence the Volca Drum by using the model cycles, or this all also works with the Electron model samples as well. They're essentially the same unit, just different internal sounds, which we are not using in this video. So I am so very grateful to Kevin Patz again for pointing out what I was doing wrong there. I can't believe I missed it both on the device and in the manual, but yeah, so simple, and now I am really excited for this combination. To be honest, I haven't used the Volca Drum as much as I should because I didn't really enjoy using the sequencer that much. I've discovered that it's pretty hard for me to program things like precisely, that a lot of times I'll hit 2 or sometimes 3 pads at once on there because it's just kind of this little key strip. So the ability to have this really tactile sequencer that the Model Cycles brings to the table, I think really enhances the experience with the Volca Drum, and I'm really excited to see what else I can use the Model Cycles excellent sequencer to work with. So I do hope you found this video informative, or at least entertaining. If you did, be sure to leave a like on it. If not, of course, you can always leave a dislike. It doesn't hurt my feelings. It just makes me try that much harder next time. But either way, be sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. New content every single day. Big surprise coming very soon as well. Thank you so very much for being here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.